So, guys, do you read comics? Have you ever read comics? And if so, is there any particular character or series that you like?
Yeah, I've read Punisher. I've read Punisher, and I read a little bit of The Walking Dead, but only until Shane died, so it didn't take very long. Yeah, but I really like Punisher. I love the Punisher Max series, and I love Barracuda. It's one of the best parts of the job.
I read a lot of comic books when I was a kid, like through to my mid-teens. I was a big Spider-Man fan. In fact, we moved house and my mother threw about 8 years of consecutive 80s Spider-Man out, and then I sort of grew out of it, and then obviously since I've been working on the show, I read a lot of Punisher, and a big fan of that.
Jon, you said in an interview a year ago that you had to be in character all the time for Daredevil Season 2. Then what about The Punisher? Has it been very difficult to be in character so long a time?
Yeah, it's never stopped. Man. It's never stopped. No, it's look. A lot of that was also I think really trying to find Frank, and I think the version of Frank in Daredevil Season 2 is he's really in a extremely dark place. He's in a dark place in Punisher as well, but we're exploring other sides of him. So it's different things for different days, But I think it's he's not a character who's looking for light, He's in the darkness, and he feels like that's where he belongs. It's where he deserves to be. So for me, it's just about not looking for laughs and giggles. You know what I mean?
Was there any special physical training for the Punisher? Has it been physically challenging for you and for the team? I don't know if...
Yeah. Not so much for me.
No.
No, he came in and he worked out with us a bunch in the beginning, when we first got... He's, like, inhumanly strong. But it's great having a showrunner who's stronger than you. It's pretty cool, actually. But, yeah, there's a lot of training, It's nonstop. Through the season, you have to stay on it, and it's important to me to have the weapons right and the fighting right, and we do the best we can.
It's actually one of the joys writing the show when you've got a lead who can do all that stuff and is game for it. We really put him through his paces.
The role of the showrunner is very common and well known in the English-speaking countries, but in Spain we kind of not know exactly what do you do. So could you explain that briefly to us? Because I find that very interesting.
Yeah, we don't really have it in the UK either, interestingly. I think it's a very American thing. But you're sort of the captain of the ship. It starts with I create the show, I write the first episode, and then I'm across casting, hiring directors, I'm overseeing production, right through to messing with sound at the very end of the edit. But so you're the overall sort of creative manager of the show, but at the same time, I have a great team of writers, crew. I mean, there's 200 people work on the show, so it's a massive collaboration. And I always say it's a little like being captain of the ship. When it's going well, which if you've got good people, it is most of the time. You're sitting at the back with one hand on the wheel, not doing so much. But when something does go wrong, you've got to know which rope to pull and make it happen.
And well, how does it feel to be a part of the mighty Marvel Netflix universe? Because, as you probably know, superhero comic book fans can be quite dramatic. I think you know, Jon. So, do you feel pressure to be part of a legacy of a character that is more than 40 years old?
Yeah, I mean, there's a real... I mean, there are two sides to it. One is someone is handing you this, this property that has meant so much to so many people, and you have to be aware of that and careful with it and treat it with all respect. But at the same time, you're there to create a new version of it, and so in the end, you just have to go back into the character and the work that was there and stay true to that. I had the luxury of having already seen what Jon had done in Daredevil Season 2, and so I had a touchstone for where we took the show, and I loved what he'd done there, and in the end, all you can do is do the version you think of the character that's truthful, and hope the fans think you've done it justice.
What about you, Jon?
Well, do I feel pressure? Yeah, every day I do. I do. I really do. And I worry about it all the time. I want it to be great, and I want it. I've said before, it belongs to the fans. You know, belongs to the fans, and you know, I want to do right by them, and you know, the only thing I can say is that we work very hard. You know, we put everything we have into it, and you know, you know, at this point, this is the scary part right before it comes out. So, you know, you can just you just you hope, and you know, that's it.
Did you know beforehand that the Punisher was going to have his own solo series? How did you react when you knew that you were going to be the star in a new series?
You know, I love Frank. You know, I love Frank Castle. You know, he's in my heart. You know, he really is, and I feel for him, and I believe in him, and it's an honor to play this part. It's an honor to. For how much he means to members of law enforcement, to the military. I recognize how important that skull is to so many people, and you know, I'm deeply grateful. I'm deeply grateful, deeply honored, but more than anything else, just really humbled, and just, you know, I just really want people to I want it to affect people.
By the way, you have already been 2 comic book characters, and let me tell you that I liked Shane most when you were Shane that in the comic books.
Thanks, buddy.
Guys, did you have fun filming the series? Are fans going to like it?
I mean, that's 2 questions. I think, yes, we had a lot of fun. I think, you know, we had a really good working relationship. And that was a lot of fun. I think when a collaboration feels very equal on both sides, that's always exciting. And then, yeah, I hope the fans love it. You know, goes to the previous question. I think, you know, I hope they think we've done it justice. I mean, I'm very proud of the show. I think this guy's amazing in it, and I hope they think the same.
And well, would you mind signing me this Punisher comic book?
So
It's the
cool,
Spanish
man.
version of the
Yeah,
Punisher.
Love to.
El
It has
Castigador. I like that.
a blank page here.
Okay, cool. Man.
Castigador.
I like that. Mine's not as clever as his.
So thank you guys. It has been a real pleasure, and I hope everybody enjoys the Punisher.
Stay cool, bro. Thanks, man.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Pleasure.
Did you get that?
Not used to this.
That's okay. That's gonna be the best part, bro. That's good.
Hola, enfermers, soy el pequeño Timmy. ¿Os gustaría ganar un tomo del Castigador de Becky Cloonan y Steve Dillon, firmado por Jon Bernthal? Oh, mirad qué calaverita. Y por el showrunner de la serie de Netflix, Steve Lightfoot. Ya sabéis, suscribíos en mi canal y bueno, dejad un comentario en este vídeo diciendo cómo castigaríais al señor Bamf. El comentario más original será el ganador de este tomo. Concurso solo válido en España. Tanta paz llevéis como descanso dejéis.